There is a very clear understanding across government and all its institutions that job creation needs to be driven with a very significant and strong focus over the next few years to ensure that India is able to benefit from its demographic dividend, but also at the same time to prevent any form of or any chance of uh, economic distress or social unrest. It's important to remember that India's domestic consumption power is fundamentally what the country relies on when it has to face any global economic headwinds, and job creation is an intrinsic part of ensuring that this domestic consumption remains strong and stable. But while it is important that very urgent job creation measures are undertaken in this budget and in future budgets as well, just ensuring that there is more income available in the hands of the Indian population or in the hands of people through any form of employment um, is important. But at the same point of time, a more fundamental exercise in capability building is required to not make this a short-term solution. There is a need in this budget at this point of time to not just therefore focus on immediate job creation, but also start investing in long-term capability building, long-term institution building in the skilling space. One important factor for us to remember is that technology, the adoption of technology is gradually making all sectors more capital intensive and more skill intensive as opposed to purely labor intensive. And therefore, for us to have sustainable economic growth over the next decade, there is investment required in skilling across all sectors. The advantage at this point in time that India has a very strong infrastructure of skill development institutions and councils. But it will be good or important to see more focused investments coming and capital allocations coming into these institutions. And at the same point of time, encouraging the private sector to start investing in skill building through tax initiatives. Also, I think the most important thing, perhaps for a longer term perspective, is also the whole primary education sector in the country. And while the new education policy, etc., has built some level of the software, so to speak, within this primary education, investments are required to start building more hardware for this. Our teacher to pupil ratios are the lowest in the world. Our infrastructure in primary education needs significant room for improvement. The fact is that India lags in public education behind most developed countries, the BRICS nations, so to speak. And some clear initiatives in this regard will go a long way in creating a platform for a more sustainable economic development from a 2047 perspective.